And welcome back. Okay, uh, we have some progress and updates here. The wall going around the pits kind of developed. The roof has been placed. I haven't quite filled in all the details yet. And all this looks nice and lovely terrain. Well, terraformed, but it's not. What it is it's been sculpted. Because that is all artificial. Even the stuff that used to be natural, it all got removed and sculpted. We'll come back to this in a minute. I want to quickly show you down here. So we still have a few things that are still on the to-do list for down here. We have to replace that dirt by digging all of it out with these bricks. What the bricks will let us do is it'll give us a good foundation to start fixing the walls as we go down. We also need more bricks to finish these edges up proper. But otherwise, you can see it's definitely taking form. This column is not actually supposed to be here naturally. And it will be removed later on. However, for the time being, since we don't have any other way down here, it has to work. We will be removing this, and actually, before next episode, it will be completely removed. And we'll have the parish up and have a way down, which will be nice. But yeah, this is the way it looks. All this right here is supposed to be limestone. Have not got enough limestone stone to fill it in, and all this used to be dirt and gravel and sand. Over here you can start seeing some of the progress. You have a transition of the stones over here and over here, and that's actually natural. The transition's rather gorgeous if you look down there. So yeah, you can kind of get the feel for how the catacombs are going to look. And that's B1. Here's B2. You can kind of see what's going on. And then for the walls, instead of having brick, we're going to have smooth stone. And yes, this limestone was naturally here. It's weird because it's the terrain literally puts it one block back. If it was one block further in, I'd have to have this as limestone, but it's not. Just following the curve. Nature's own complexities. I actually kind of prefer them to man-made complexities. But that's a personal preference. And I've ranted on it long enough in previous videos that I really don't feel like I need to do it right now. This is all solid stone that I cut out. You got solid stone over here that I've been cutting as well. You can kind of see that from the pattern on the floor. I know it's a little dark down here, sorry. This is B3. The first floor of the Pour complex. It's going to go all the way down to B8 before it opens to quarry. This stone was not naturally here. What I did was I dug it out here and then outlined it so that I have the shape and can just move on. it looked a lot more like this over here. With the exception of, I think there was a couple bricks over here. It's impossible to tell at this point because it's actually moved over to brick. Well, to stone, not brick. Brick is mud that you dry out. Stone is a bunch of carbon that's been pressed. And yeah, lots more work to do down here. Catacombs are starting to take their place. So, roof's been added. Like I said, added those couple blocks. Shaped it up real nice too. Came over here, extended the roof for this. Extended the roof for this. And put a roof on over here. We need to go ahead and put the bricks in and figure out what we're doing with that. We'll do that later. You'll notice that that is a different pattern from this, which is a different pattern from this. There's a reason. This is where the lectern is going to be, and I want it to have a curve. Also, with the windows being where they are, it really only makes sense. That roof, it's just following that. This one, my logic was, it's a bit more of a overhang, like an entranceway. So I don't need it to be huge. I just need it to be there. Okay, let's get into the actual project today. And that is this. Yeah, it's gonna be complicated. No, don't care. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up. Half. Okay, how do I want to do this? Because that's a half block right there. Do I want to do one... No, because that's one. If that's the half block, then that's a block. And that's a block. And that's a block. So that's a block. That's a block. No, that's a block. That's a whole block. That's a half block, that's a whole block. That's a stair. Right? Wrong. You know, I should probably just go ahead and remove the ones that are... Because that's a half, which means that's a whole. That's a hole, and that's a hole. Let's go ahead and do this now. Okay. That's a block. That's a block. That's a block. And then that's a block. Yeah, okay. So we want 4 blocks up. Half hole. Half hole stair. Hole with an extra piece. Okay, let's go try that. We can always reference that from the ground. Speaking of which, I should probably get some scaffolding or something. Oh, bloody hell, you're kidding me, I forgot about that. Either way, we need scaffolding. Let me sort this out and sleep through the night, and then I'll be back with you guys. Okay, there we go. Got what I needed, had a nice rest. And that's not gonna work, okay. So I guess I need to jump. Wow, this is actually becoming quite the headache. Just for a stupid build. Where's that bloody piece of dirt? There it is. Okay, so that's up 2. And the bottom one was half. Let's go ahead and switch modes. Then we had hole. Yeah. Then after that we had stair, which I can't reach from here. Then we had hole and yeah. I think now would be the time for the scaffold. Yeah, I can't reach it from here, so let's go ahead and place in our scaffold. I wish I could, like, move that up here. That would be great instead of having to look at it from here. So it was a hole, and then it was a stair, right? So we got there's the half, there's the hole. Is that the way it worked? No, it went up higher. No, that one was the stair. Okay. So is that one in the right place? Yeah, it is. All because we want one stupid piece from it. And then what? We want another stair, or... half whole stair piece and solid brick on top of that. Which would put this one as solid. Okay, so we... yes, yes. And I think so. So let's do the same on this side. And sorry about my voice today, it's just, yeah. My voice is generally crappy, but this just kinda exceeds expectations. I guess would be a lovely way of saying it. Without being too grotesque. And I don't really know how I can get that. Let's do this side over here and figure out if maybe there's a way that we can turn this into a step ladder for us. Okay, so half hole and then stairs. Half hole, stairs. Then we got an extra piece over here. Well, there we go. That kind of works. Now we don't want that falling over, so let's go ahead and put in a keystone. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Let's do the same thing on this side. That seemed to have worked pretty decently as a stepladder. Yeah, beautifully. And now I don't think we have any problems getting over there. So half hole and then stairs. And then a weird little piece. Yeah, that doesn't quite touch. So, it looks like I'm gonna need to get some more brick before I can finish this up. Either way, I don't need the scaffolding on these sides anymore. It's always something. Actually, let's leave this one in. And yeah, this fall's gonna hurt. Not as bad as I was expecting, which is good. And then the towers are just gonna continue up from that. You basically get the idea of what I'm doing with the arches. Just make sure that when you do arches, you have a keystone, which is one stone that's specially shaped to fit in the very top center of the arch. It's the key to the arch's stability, and that's because it's wedge shaped. I can't really get a wedge shape and get the arches to still meet it, so this is my alternative. Use smooth stone as your keystone. It gives the feeling that it's a larger stone, that it's important. And you still have a decent opening from there. I need to smooth the insides of these, but can't do that without taking care of the stonework. Well, actually, bracing work. So let's take care of this in the meantime. We want to elaborate on this dais. And now you know why I was saying that I needed to take care of that entrance? Yeah. Sure, it just makes a wee bit more sense now, doesn't it? I guess for right now it would be enough to simply put placeholders. That's what they were anyway. I just hate losing torches. And I have 3 left over for... Oops, sorry about that. For filling this in down here. Guess if we're careful, we could possibly get them. Okay, now we don't want it to be like that, so let's grab our slabbing tool. And of course you can't slab these. How come all the nice blocks, all the wonderful blocks, can't be worked with the chisel? I'm sorry, forgive me, but there are blocks that we want to use that would look wonderful for this, and they can't be worked with the chisel. It's okay, it's not the end of the world. What we'll do instead is, we'll pull these parts of the dais up. Because they can be pulled up and manipulated, which is awesome. And because we can slab these, we'll make the steps to the dais out of this. Which is not the best option, because I'm willing to bet you that half of this is just going to fall down into a hole somewhere. And I guess I can pause the recording while I do this and retrieve them. So while I do that, I will talk to you soon. Okay, and welcome back. I moved those on down. We have our platform up here. This is where the lectern's going to be. And what I'm thinking is I do want a little bit of a walkway around it. And then from there we can go with our stairs. But I don't want it to simply be stairs. Thinking if I slab it down, that should look pretty decent. I guess it looks decent. It doesn't quite have a complete look. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Yeah, it definitely looks like a dais. And that's good, that's great, that's what we were after. Okay. And then we'll have a table back here for the altar. I think for that part we are done. Arches I will do off camera. You've already seen me do almost 2. Lack of foresight meant that I didn't have enough bricks for both. So let's go finish up with the roofing supplies. Get those support beams in, and at that point we'll be good to call it an episode, with next episode focusing on the construction of the parish and the finishing up of the catacombs. So let's just grab a little bit of wood for that. That should be more than enough. We're not constructing an entire ceiling like we were earlier. Now, I've given this a bit of thought, and if we put it out every 5, it's not going to really have any present. If we put it out every 5, we're just not going to have enough. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And I have a feeling that these are more or less the same as well. Yeah, it is. And we're going to have the same thing going over here. So we might have 1, but it won't be well placed. And that's not very cool. That's not really efficient either. Now, we could break it down so every 3 gets it, but that's going to be too cluttered. 1, 2, 3. That's a bit too cluttered. So how about we go with 4? We'll have some presence, but we won't have it being overwhelming. So let's just get some construction tools for that real quick. Okay, there we go. So we want every 4, right? Let's go ahead and mark them. That's gonna be 3, and that's 4. So this one will be a little bit spaced out, unless if we start at the arches. Which would be... because then that would be here. Actually, with the way I designed the windows, that will work. Yeah, that will work, so... Let's go ahead and smooth these. It's not much of a smoothing job, but it's good enough for our purposes. Let's not forget these corner bits. That looks good. I have to do a little bit more sorting out with some detail, but it lets me get the feel for how I want to smooth the roof. Instead of carving away, which might be a mistake in this case, I think I'm just going to add whole blocks and then just chisel them down to a little quarter slab. I might not do that on the ones with the gap here. I might just do it here. But we might just simply come back with that next episode. For right now, let me go over just where I'm going to be placing these. So that's 2, that's 4. We're going to have one here, 2, 4, and have one here. Let's just mirror this on this side. I'll fill those and do those the same way as the other. I know it sounds like I'm trying to hurry up. I really am. And no, it's no reflection on you guys. You guys have actually been a rather decent audience. Not saying an awesome audience, but, you know, for a world full of bitches, whines, moans, and complaints, you guys haven't been too bad. So yeah, that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a little bit here, which will simply accent it. Have a little bit here, which will also accent it. And this is where it's really gonna shine over here. We do need to go ahead and install some beams, but I think that's for a different episode. So until next time, I will talk to you later.